If you can get rid of fear, judgment, and self-pity or victimization, this world will be much better for you and everyone that you touch. So we don't need to get into right or wrong. Like, I'm a recovering right or wrong person. Like, that was huge because that's what I was instilled to believe. I had this big right and wrong little devil on my shoulder. It doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong. There's just love. Love and light. That's all there is. And if we live in that, and if we appreciate that's what we're made of, and we do everything from it, we can never fail. Not in that bad sense of the word. All we can do is grow and connect, which is why we're here.
Welcome to the Spiritual Business Blueprint, where we dive deep into building a business that honors your unique energy, aligns with your purpose, and actually feels good. I'm your host, Tracy Ann Rose, a spiritual sales coach, speaker, author, mom of two, lover of naps, and reigning Candy Crush world champion. Through a compassionate, soul-centered approach, we explore what it really means to build a thriving business that respects your energy, values, and life outside of the grind. In this space, we'll use tools like astrology, human design, and energetics to find the business strategies that align with your soul's purpose. So if you're ready to make your first or next 5 figures without burning out, compromising your values, or sacrificing your peace, keep listening. You are in the right place. We're speaking with Yvonne Trost. She is a hypnotherapist, happiness coach, co-founder of LimitlessYou, and co-hosts the podcast How to Be Happier for Entrepreneurs, which is in the top 2% globally. So definitely check it out after this episode. And she specializes in subconscious reprogramming, overcoming self-doubt, and creating meaningful relationships, which are all crucial for high-achieving entrepreneurs looking for deeper fulfillment beyond success. Today, our topic is courage in action, bold decisions for fulfillment, which is absolutely perfect since we're in Aries season. We're recording this in Aries season, and we have a huge shift with a lot of outer planets moving into Aries. So I'm so excited to have you, Yvonne. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. When I learned more about your show and what you all focus on and listen to, I was like, these are my people.
Yes, welcome. We welcome you with open arms. So I think it's fascinating, of course, that you're a happiness coach. And a lot of the people that I work with, they want that fulfillment. They want that feeling of purpose, but they've been thwarted at every turn. And I've heard you speak about this. It's often because of our unconscious or subconscious and childhood programming. How can they take their awareness, because they're aware, they know where it comes from, but how can they take that awareness and move it into action?
So that's a really great question. I know a lot of my clients have been very aware. Like, they had done all the things, they had the coaching, they had the therapy, they had everything. They even wrote books. And they're like, Yvonne, I have all this awareness. The embodiment isn't happening for me. And by embodiment, that's what I mean, like putting it into action, and then not just thinking it, not just knowing of it, but living it. And quite often the reason you can't do that is because even though you're aware of it consciously, once you're 35, 95% of what you say, do, think, everything, modern science has proven, is driven by your subconscious. So what you need to find out, whether you work with me at LimitlessYou, or you do some work with Tracy, or you do some work on your own, you need to get to your subconscious, because that's where all the programming is. And you might be thinking, well, like I did, I had a great childhood. It was boring, if anything. I lived in a town of 2,300 and there were cows and cornfields across the street. Like, I can't make this up, people. So you don't have to have a big T trauma childhood to have programs driving your behaviors, right? Where you have this awareness, but you can't put it into action. So there's also just deep guided meditations you can do to get started. What we need to work on is understanding how you're trapping yourself. So it's quite often your subconscious mind's belief, like whatever's holding you back, whatever, like you don't have the courage to take action, it's because your subconscious mind thinks it's helping you out. It thinks your problems are actually a solution to something it fears is worse, right? So for me, I was brought up very conservative. Save. Money doesn't grow on trees. You work. And they call it a job for a reason. And it's not supposed to be fun. And then someday when you retire, when you're too old and crotchety to do anything, then you can relax a little bit. Right? So not terrible. Nobody hit me. I mean, I did get spanked, but nobody like physically abused me or anything. But this belief, right, drove me to work 60 to 80 hours for 25 years. It drove me to, I got grounded if I didn't get straight A's. It drove me to feel like I'm not enough unless I achieve these external things.
Absolutely.
So the longer answer to your question continues to be, it has to start within. And not just within your conscious mind, but deep within your subconscious mind and tapping into your heart. Oh gosh, you're going to love this then. Quick things you can do. I put a free heart-mind coherence meditation out on YouTube. Just search up Unlock LimitlessYou. It'll show up there. It's 15 minutes or less. Start doing that. Listening to your heart, getting out of your head, asking your heart, what does it need right now? What's the next right step for me right now? The other thing that you can do is on our website, because I'm not doing this for success and to be enough. I'm doing this from my heart. So I put a ton of free resources out there. So if you go to unlocklimitlessyou.com/resources, there's a lot of free tools. The one that I would say to help you take action is you need to put front and center what that limiting belief is. So you can use a heart coherence training. You can use some of the getting to the root of it tool that's out there that I put out there to find out what that limiting belief is. And then I created something really fun called the limiting belief lie detector.
Oh, I've heard of this. Share it with our audience. They need to hear about it.
So you're like, what do you mean, Yvonne? My subconscious is thinking it's protecting me, or how can me being miserable be a solution? Your subconscious mind's job is just to keep you alive. It actually doesn't care if you're happy, sad, rich, poor, fat, skinny. It doesn't care. If you're breathing and you are alive, it's like, yes, let's stay right here. So you just need to reparent your subconscious mind. It's just the little you inside, right? That did the best it could and continues to do the best it can, right? I tell people, we built rocket ships, we've built AI, we built all these complicated things, but we haven't built another you.
No. And you never will.
You never will.
Even
so have compassion.
Speaking, it takes, I think, 10,000 years for someone's chart to repeat.
Yes. So think about it that way. Do we get even the quick start guide in school or from our parents?
Absolutely not. That's my issue with the education system, actually.
Exactly. So you're into human design. You're probably into gene keys. We should be teaching, whether you completely believe it or not, it is contemplative, experiential self-awareness. So we need to teach ourselves, how does our mind, body, and spirit work? How are we sabotaging ourselves? So you can use the limiting belief lie detector to get started on your own. So you say, what is the thing that I really want? Right? So what are some common things that your listeners really want but haven't been able to achieve yet? Can you give me something to work with?
Yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing I notice with my clients is financial freedom. They want financial freedom. They want to have a spiritually led business, but they are afraid of the ramifications of being disowned by their family. So they struggle a lot with CPTSD from their upbringing. They struggle with the idea of being visible. Are people going to hate them for them presenting an offer? There's a lot of mind traps is what I'll call them. A lot of mind traps. So yeah, how can they move towards financial freedom if they are feeling stuck, especially with CPTSD, because we know there's a lot of issues there with taking action because of that underlying trauma that they're not maybe aware of on the deeper level that it has affected them so deeply.
Absolutely. So there's a couple of tools. Let me walk you through them now. So if you're listening, write down whatever it is your challenge is. So let's take this one for example, but you write down yours. The challenge is the fear of leading a spiritually led, financially free business because of whatever, right? Not free to do what I believe in, not free to be authentically me and run my business as authentically me because of the unknown, because of judgment, because of fear, right? Did I get that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you've nailed it on the head. I'm nodding for those of you who are listening. I'm just taking it in.
Yeah, good. That's perfect. So as you're listening and writing down your challenge, write down all the things. Imagine that's gone. I gave you a magic wish and you don't have to be afraid anymore. You can trust that you're always protected. You're always taken care of. Always the thing will happen for you, never to you. Even the worst things like my divorce and having to get a security system because I'm in a bad neighborhood because my ex-husband was harassing me and taunting me and pretending like he was in the house. Like that happened for me. Even something as bad as that, I now see happen for me because it led me to yoga and manifestation and meditation and what I do today. So imagine what you want. The challenge you have is gone. Write down all the things, right? Write down all the things that would be good about that. Right now, just write down maybe 3 or as many as you can before I say the next thing.
And also feel what that feels like in your body when you imagine
what would happen?
that life.
What would happen? Close your eyes. I love that. We have time. This is our show, right? Close your eyes and imagine that that's true. Feel that that's true. Your challenge is gone. What would it mean? How would you feel in your mind, body, and spirit? And what would open up to you in life? I don't know about you, but my cells are just tingling.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm thinking about countless things. And what's interesting is they don't feel so far away.
Yes. Yes.
When we allow ourselves to imagine having those things, we realize that it's not that far away. And that actually brings me to a question that I had earlier for you. Some of these things that I've noticed with my clients struggling with their limiting beliefs is they don't recognize them as limiting beliefs. They recognize them as facts because of maybe what they've seen generationally or culturally. They don't understand like, oh, this isn't a real thing that applies to everyone. This is just something, this is a layer, a projection that I'm putting over the lens of my life. So how can they start to recognize what's reality versus what is conditioning?
Well, here's what I would say. It can all be conditioning.
Oh, love that.
Your reality is just the meaning that you give the things happening to you and around you. So how do you, it's very cliche. I think Tony Robbins and other people have said it's happening for you, not to you. And that's easier said than done. How about if it is easier said and easier done? You and I could be in the same room, experiencing the same exact things with the same temperature, the same environment, everything, and have completely different realities. You and I could be fighting. You and I could be having fun. It's never what you and I are doing. It's never you. It's never the environment. It's the meaning I give my experience. So it's all conditioning because the meaning you give things is based upon what you've been conditioned to do.
And I want to take that a little bit further as well of like the meaning that we are ascribing to things in the future, right? Because a lot of them, the reason why they don't take that next step is the fear of the uncertainty, right? The fear of the unknown. And so one of the big things that they fear is rejection or openly failing, especially now that we have social media. People don't want to fail publicly. They feel like it's going to be embarrassing, especially as recovering people pleasers. So how can they start to reframe that fear of failure or that fear of rejection so that they're able to move past that?
I've done so many workshops on this. It's so common and so profound once it just clicks. So failure isn't bad. Think of it this way. We are growing. You might have heard of fail forward and you're like, yeah, I can. Fail forward means you learn and you grow. And the only way you learn and you grow is by trying. So think of things as experiments. Like when scientists are doing an experiment and they're probably doing it 100, 200, 300 times. They got to do all these experiments. Do you think they're like all upset and embarrassed when it fails? No, they're like, oh, I learned something. Let me put this into the next test. Let me put this into the next whatever. We are here on Earth School. If we are not failing, we most likely are not growing.
Absolutely. Say it
and
again.
If you're not growing, yeah. If you're not failing, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, what are you doing?
You're dying.
You're dying. You're slowly dying, which is what most people in a social trance are doing. They're slowly dying. The Matrix is eerily, that movie is eerily like representative of what's happening. You're like in a pod plugged in to a social media trance, being fed whatever is given to you and not choosing what you're taking in or what you're putting out. So you're like, great, Yvonne, I don't even know where to start. Okay, well, let's look at this. Well, we're going to go back to the first thing that we started, so don't lose that. Okay. But we're going to keep going with this. You have more to fear by staying small than you have to fear by growing and failing and learning. You have more to be embarrassed about by not giving your creator-given gifts than by experimenting with them and using them. And like, think about practice of anything. Like, we practice all the time. You were not afraid of judgment growing up. You weren't born that way. You were born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Everything else is conditioned. So just start here. This is easier to remember. What's Einstein's theory on energy? E equals mc squared, right? A lot of people, I think almost everybody knows that. If not, the school system's really broken. E equals mc squared for more than one reason.
Right.
So I've modified it, but used it so you can think about it. The energy you want in in your life, you're the energy where you don't fear the unknown. You're actually excited because rather than staying in this little stagnant pond that you think is comfortable, but like mildew and mold and green gunk is everywhere, instead of like staying there, you're like, no, I'm going to jump onto that boat and I'm going to go out into the ocean of possibility. That's where I was at. I grew up thinking, I didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't have access to the internet. My mom said, go into school for business because you have to make money and you have to make money so you can survive. And so then I did that. And then I didn't really want to do that. And then I did consulting for 25 years. And then I had this huge fear of the unknown. And the universe kept saying, slap, 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 slap. And it wasn't until my very scary divorce that it hit me over the head hard enough for me to wake up. So listen to people like me and others. So hopefully you change from inspiration versus desperation, right? Mine was desperation, but I visualize this. You're standing on a dock near a boat and you're in this marina and it's not a very nice one. Like, I don't know, maybe even like sewers dumping into the water nearby. It is gross. But you're like, I'm here. I know this place. I know how to navigate it. Like I clip my nose with a safety pin. I don't know. Feel your senses. Like you're not happy. It's not pleasant. But you feel stuck because you're like, well, I don't know what's out there. But you put your one foot onto the boat. It's a nice boat. And you're like, ooh, I'd like to stay on that boat. I'd like to get out of here. And the boat's like, well, we're going. The people on the boat, like, we're going. Ocean of possibilities is where we're headed. That's what we're meant to live. And you got one foot on, one foot off, and the boat's taking off. And it's getting harder because you're about ready to fall in that gross water. And you have to make a decision. You have to decide, do I hop on this boat with these lovely people open to explore the ocean of possibility? Or do I stay where I'm at? Even though it's kind of yucky around me and people judge me, people don't understand me, people don't hear me. What's your choice? That's where you're at.
It will always be the boat for me. Like, it will always be the boat for me. And I think
for 25 years, it wasn't the boat for me. When I let go of the fear of the unknown. So if you're listening and you're struggling, that's where you're at.
And
if you're stuck in the fear of the unknown,
how did you I know you got slapped around a little bit by the universe, which is what it's prone to do when we're not listening. But how did you take the information? Because I think that's also where it can get a little disconnected for those listening is that they get the information and they almost feel like it is a slap on the wrist of they're not doing something right, rather than seeing it as an opportunity to get onto this boat that's going to lead to their dream destination. So how did you end up taking that first small step that allowed you to continue going?
So I'm going to tell you, and then I'm also going to tell you, you don't have to take as long as I did. So the first was, the abuse from my husband, ex-husband, of my children and myself. And I'm like, I'd rather be alone for the rest of my life than continue to subject us to this. So I hope that's not what you're going through. And if you are, you're not alone. And it's not better to stay in it for the children. So that led me to my friend telling me, I didn't even know anybody that got a divorce. I was like, I only had one friend. That's how I was just like, I didn't even understand. I felt ashamed. My parents have been married for over 60 years. This isn't what you do. And she's like, come to yoga with me. And I said, I hate yoga. I've only been once. There's no endorphins. I was a runner and a spinner and all the things. And I went, and it was a hot power vinyasa flow, and something shifted. And what I will tell you is that most of society's problems are because people aren't breathing properly. Breath is life. Think of how many things that you can survive with for a little while. Food, you can survive quite a long time. Water, not as long, but still quite a long time. Breath, more than 5 minutes and you're dead. So what I discovered is that we're just breathing so shallowly. We're in this constant state of fight or flight. So just start by deep breathing. I highly recommend yoga. From yoga, I found meditation. Guess what you do in meditation? More breathing. Then I studied to be a yoga instructor, found manifesting, deeper meditation, deeper practice of yoga, all 8 limbs. More breathing, more shifts, more connection of mind, body, and spirit. And then from there, I just started making choices that felt aligned. Rather than doing what I think I should do. One of my clients said this now, and I say it all the time, stop shooting all over yourself.
Yes, I've heard that phrase and I love it.
I stopped shooting all over myself. And I started listening, really listening, not to my busy analytical prefrontal cortex thinking mind, but to my heart, my mind, my body, my spirit connected. And then from there, I just started doing the things I wanted to do at work and not what I didn't want to do. I started meditating and manifesting, and then I manifested my partner into my life. And then he was doing this hypnotherapy, and I thought, if I won the lottery, I'd go back to school for psychology, but I don't buy lottery tickets. And I looked into the debt that it would accrue, and I'm like, I can't do that either. So I'm like, let me just stay in this career for 7 to 10 years until my kids are out of college, and then maybe I'll start living. So it wasn't until I started taking small steps. I'm like, I could get trained in that. I got trained to be a certified hypnotherapist as I was still working, and I thought I was going to do these things side by side. And that didn't feel right either. So I just learned to attune to me. My whole life, like you mentioned, people pleasers earlier, was attuning to everybody else. I am a really good people pleaser.
Yeah, I think
I do a great job taking care of everybody else.
Preaching to
but listen up.
Here. Yes.
Listen up. Self-health is not selfish. If you're a mom, really listen up. Self-health is not selfish. Here's how. It's actually selfish to not put your self-health first. Let me say that again. You are selfish to not put your self-health first. Here's why. You aren't giving your best self to the ones you love. And my yoga mat taught me that. Before, I'd be like, I don't have time to go do anything for me. I got to work. I got to take care of the kids. Got to do all the stuff because my ex-husband wasn't very helpful. And then when I just said, no, I'm going to do this because I had hit rock bottom. So if you've hit rock bottom, there is so much to look up for and up to and forward to. If you haven't hit rock bottom, there's no need to go. There's no need to go. You don't need it. Learn from others. Use the tools that we've tested. That's why I tell my clients, I call my tribe. We have weekly masterminds for people that aren't quite ready or able to do the one-on-one work. And then I have one-on-one clients. And I always just tell them, I have so many different ideas and tools. I always say I'm a recovering consultant. So I tailor it to everybody's needs. But don't just listen to me. Don't just listen to Tracy. Don't just listen to anybody. Take it, test it. See if it works, see if it fails. And if it fails, guess what? Learn from it. What worked, what didn't work. You want to fail. So I was an IT and business strategy consultant, and there's a concept, it's called fail forward and fast feedback loops.
I do want to address something really quick. A lot of our listeners are women of color. And so they might feel like failing forward is only for their white counterparts. Like they imagine like failing upward and they're like, well, I can't do that. Every time I failed, like you said, like my parents were really harsh with me, or maybe they lost friends or a sense of safety. So how can we help them to reconceptualize this as a safe practice?
So I think it's that limiting belief lie detector, putting it in front of your face. So the reason it sounds like from your synopsis that they are afraid to fail is because their subconscious mind believes something worse could happen. And the worst thing that could happen in that subconscious mind is I get kicked out of the tribe. I'm not accepted. And our minds are not that old, relatively speaking. So if you get kicked out of the tribe back in prehistoric times, what happens? What would happen to you?
You die alone.
If you got kicked out, you die. You die. Because you can't do it alone, right? But we're not there anymore, but our minds still think we are. So you need to put that rationale front and center underneath a magnifying glass. So if I get what I want, so if I feel free to fail forward, right, and I learn and I grow, then what bad thing can happen? Well, I could get rejected. I could get made fun of. I could get fired. I could get out of the tribe. So what do? Well, I just don't live my fullest life. I'm miserable. I do what other people tell me. I live small. I stay small, right? Because they think all that suffering is better than getting kicked out of that tribe. It's easier to do after hypnotherapy, but you can even still see it now. Let me ask you this. Is that really your tribe?
I love that question.
Is that your tribe? You attract, I love that your vibe attracts your tribe. It's so appropriate. Like you choose your tribe. They don't get to choose you. Who's wiser, you or your creator?
Ooh.
Who do you think? No matter who you think your creator is, who do you think smarter?
I mean, obviously, I use the term universe, but yeah, the universe, the creator, source, energy.
Yeah.
Yes, always. And that's why you were constructed a certain way. That's why you're attracting a certain group of people naturally. But I think it's also why sometimes we are birthed into groups that don't feel authentic so that we can find our groups that feel authentic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's Earth School.
Yes.
Like if you were just put into easy peasy lemon squeezy and there's nothing to learn, nothing to grow. And it's just like, well, what are you going to learn? How are you going to grow?
You're not.
And oh gosh, how do I want to say this? If you're like, well, she doesn't get me. She doesn't understand where I'm at. She's not a person of color. Okay, I'm not. Maybe I haven't had the same experiences. Again, don't discount giving yourself the experience to see what you learn. Prove me wrong. Try it. Try it safe and small to start. But this is what I'm going to tell you. You looked at where I was at, you would say, yeah, she's in the right spot. She's in corporate America. She's in this whole thing. I wasn't in the right spot. And it wasn't until I started living authentically where they kind of thought as I was coming into my authentic self, they're like, ooh, she's kind of different. She's kind of woo-woo. And at the same time, there's a magnetic attraction.
Yes.
So put the limiting belief, test it. Okay, so I might get kicked out of this tribe. Okay, so that's the worst thing can happen. So what do? So I stay small. But what is the real truth? Who's winning? Are you safe if you can't be yourself? So think of it this way. We all have a little mini me inside of us, is what I say. Like your subconscious mind primarily was formed before the age of 10. So I always tell people, get a little picture of yourself and put it on your mirror, because that's who's running the show. Okay? That's who's running the show. And if they're not feeling good and you're not letting them grow into their fullest self, are you really keeping them safe? So your whole thing is about safety, but you're actually creating unsafety. The very thing you're trying to avoid, you are creating by this limiting belief. So remind yourself, like go through the exercise, go get the limiting belief lie detector. It's free. Go through the exercise and maybe go through it a couple times each day when any new little thing comes up. Here's the thing. If you have these 3 things in your life, you have some really cool things to get curious about. So back to Einstein's theory, the energy you want in your life is mindful thinking, raised to the power of compassion and curiosity. So have compassion for yourself. You're a 7-year-old trying to navigate life as an adult. Have compassion for anybody else that's not sending you love, because they're the same little kid in there just trying to do their best with what they've been taught and conditioned. And then get curious. Use the limiting belief lie detector. Use the getting to the root of it tool. Like, what is happening? Put that in front of your face. So when you have the fear of the unknown, what am I afraid of? And then go through it. And I bet you, I'm a recovering person that likes to be right. I bet you, though, I'll be right. The very thing you're avoiding, you're creating and attracting. Just prove me wrong. Message me. You can direct message me. Go to unlocklimitlessyou.com/call. We can set up a call. You can talk to me about it. And if I'm right, that's something to get excited about. That's not making you wrong. That's making you empowered.
Yes. Okay.
Because you just take back control of your thoughts. And there's ways to do that.
Absolutely. This is the perfect place for us to take our commercial break. So you'll hear a brief message from our sponsors and we'll be right back with Yvonne. You've made your first 10K, but now you're feeling stuck. You're feeling stagnant in your business, but you want more. You want consistency. You want to bring in 10K months, not just 10K years. If this sounds like you, you're probably already working with coaches or in group coaching programs where the strategies just aren't clicking for you. They require more time, more energy, or they simply don't feel in alignment with where you are now. That's why I created Soul-Centered Success, my 6-month signature program for coaches who are ready to tap into their intuition and create a business that is sustainable and profitable, all based on you. You are the foundation. So based on your body, meaning your physical capacity, your brain, your nervous system, and previous conditioned habits, as well as your soul's blueprint, your astrology, human design, numerology, etc. So if this sounds like you, please go ahead and book your intuitive strategy call. The link is in the show notes. I'll see you there. Welcome back to this episode. We are interviewing Yvonne Trost. So sorry about that earlier. It's pronounced Yvonne for all of you listeners. And we were actually just talking a little bit more of the energetics and the spiritual components of business, of success, of fulfillment, of happiness. And I was asking Yvonne, what are her big 3, her astrological big 3, her sun, moon, and rising. Yvonne, would you mind sharing with the listeners your big 3?
Sure. So this is exciting because I know a little bit, but Tracy's going to walk us through this. So my sun is Pisces, my moon is Gemini, and my rising is Cancer.
So this is super juicy. I know we have a lot of Pisces, Gemini placements listening, definitely some Cancers as well. But I was seeing, when you shared with me your big 3, I was seeing how it was playing out in your story. And with every astrological sign, there is a higher and lower expression. So like a higher or lower vibration, you can also refer to it that way. or a shadow side, right? And with Pisces, the higher expression is intuition. So it sounds like that was your North Star into getting out of the situations that would have been the shadow side, which with Pisces, it's martyrdom, right? It's, oh, I've got to stay for the kids. I've got to do this. And that's actually reinforced by your Cancer rising, which is very interesting. Cancer is very home oriented and very much about safety. But like we said, sometimes we confuse sameness for safety, right?
That's right.
So I love that you were able to use your intuition to move out of this. And it started with something very simple of just going to yoga, just doing something with your body. And I think people don't realize how powerful the body is as a form of intuition.
Absolutely. And I think there's so many things that we could talk about. And I am still learning a lot. And what I would tell you is that you have a body and you have a mind, but you are not them. They are gifts that have been given to you. And it's proven by modern sciences, and ancient yogis have known it for thousands of years. We're just pure light, love, energy. We are energy. We are frequency. Our skin, it doesn't matter the color. It doesn't even matter that it's on our body. Our energy goes inside and outside of it. We are connected whether we want to be or not. We're all energetically connected. And so what yoga started helping me do is breathe. But then as I continue to grow and I continue to learn about the energy centers, some people call them the chakras, and figuring out how do I get in alignment. And meditation, there's several different meditations that I do, and I actually have some on our website, or will be on the website soon. They'll be in the show notes, that help you align your chakras or your energy centers. And they help you understand, like, they're all there. They're all unique. They're all for different reasons. So like the energy centers in the base of your spine and in your stomach and in your solar plexus, those are kind of like your survival, right? That's where like major amounts of energy are used to produce humans, to ground you, to keep you alive, to identify who you are, your identity, your ego. If you get stuck in those, you are in survival mode for the most part. You're living out of fear. And as I've progressed in my practice, what I will tell you is 3 things. Pay attention. Write these 3 things down. If you are not in mortal danger, if you are, then this is a different situation. If you're not in mortal danger, if you have fear, if you have judgment of self or others, or if you have self-pity or victimization, you are stuck. And you are telling yourself something that isn't true. Remember how your reality is shaped by your thoughts? You're lying to yourself because your subconscious mind thinks you are in mortal danger, but you are not.
No, this is so good. And it can feel like putting a post on the internet is putting yourself in mortal danger. Like it can feel that big.
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you, before my journey, like I was doing the yoga, I was doing the meditation. I had not, because of my divorce, and because of like just kind of how you see all I call them Facebook families.
Oh yeah, where they've got the cover photo is all of them artistically styled.
Everybody's
in a
happy
field. Yes.
and all the good stuff.
It's always perfect, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have some of those, but I also have the other ones, the real ones. Yeah. But I never post. I posted pictures like a long time ago because my family's in Illinois and I'm in Virginia. But never did I do like a video. So I saw this guy who inspired me. I enrolled in his program before I started my journey with LimitlessYou. And I had to, for the first time in a private Facebook group, post a video. And to your point of like feeling like that's mortal danger, I'm like, oh my God, I have never done this. Why have I never done this? And it was fear of judgment, fear of like, because I'm a very capable person. I'm pretty smart. And I was judged for that growing up. Oh, like you're a know-it-all. You're like, this is crazy. I cannot make this up, people. You know, if you have the high school yearbooks and they give all like the most athletic and the most this, the most that. They created a category called the bossiest. And I got it with a friend.
What was that? We can laugh at it now, but like, how did it feel in the moment?
It felt terrible.
Aww.
It felt terrible, right? But my subconscious mind had said, like, you have to have it all in control because you've been instilled with, you got to be the best and you got to do the best and you got to make it perfect. You know, you talked about recovering perfectionist. You know, here I am. I'm one, right? It was conditioning. It was conditioning. Innocent conditioning. They did it out of love. They thought that's how I could survive and thrive. But then I got stuck in those low energy centers, and that creative Pisces was squashed. Like, I'm like, do I go to arts and sciences or business? I liked art. My grandma was an artist. She was creative. She was like all the warm, fuzzy gooiness that you would ever want or dream of. She was a baker, and she could make anything, you know, out of fabric. You know, I had a birthday cake of whatever I wanted. I had a costume of whatever. Like, that was the energy that I had. But because she didn't have a lot of money and my mom suffered because of that, my mom's like, don't do that. Do this. Go where you make money. So I was, as a Pisces, I think I was born, obviously I was born that way, but I was never rewarded for it. Past kindergarten. You know, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And then they don't care anymore. It's like, be safe, make money.
Be safe, make money. And it's interesting. Yeah, my son, he's 7, and at his elementary school, they had a full week dedicated to college and careers.
Oh my
where
gosh.
They had to dress up for job interviews, or it said, like, wear a college shirt or an armed forces shirt. And I said, oh, what? These are the options. Oh, like we need to give them more. And we're starting so young. These conversations are starting so young. But it's true. It's so powerful to notice when we stop being allowed to dream, because that is when we turn off our magic, right? Like, that's when we turn off our magnetism. And I'm sure if you'd been given that support from your parents early on to say, yes, like, follow your creative impulses, because that's also super Gemini energy as well. Gemini is very multifaceted, very interested in communicating, connecting ideas is a big thing for them. So I completely see it in your moon. Because that also deals with relationships, and your moon deals with relationships. And so it's so exciting to see that you were able to let go of some of that conditioning. I know some of our listeners, they come from very conservative Christian families. And so spirituality is the devil's work. That was one of my mom's biggest concerns when I learned Reiki. When she found out about it, she was like, oh no, you know, she cried. She cried so much. She was sure I was going to hell, and she was really upset about it because she wanted to hang out with me in heaven. And I had to, just let her have her feelings too, let her go through her own growth process and see that I was okay, see that I was happier, see that I felt more fulfilled, because I think sometimes people need to see something new in order to believe that it's possible and that it's safe.
Yes. And I don't claim to be omniscient. I do know that I was raised Lutheran, which is Christian, and basically we're the Catholic rebels because Martin Luther didn't believe in all the rules of purgatory, and so we got kicked out. But so you can, if you don't know what Lutheran is, I'm just giving you a little fun facts. There's so much fear and judgment in organized religion, and it is not how, in my religion, it was not how Jesus was. He did not instill things with fear and judgment, or most spiritual leaders within organized religion and within Christianity. What happens is man takes it and then tries to control people with it, and then has to put in the fear and the judgment to control the masses. So if you even look into Wicca or witches, right? They were just modern day holistic therapists. Yeah,
they just liked herbs. They just
naturalists
liked herbs and had intentions. It doesn't feel.
And then they had to be victimized. They had to be villainized. I'm sorry, because the people didn't understand it. And so then that's where you again look at everybody with compassion first. Even the rulers of Christianity that would do that, they weren't born that way. They were taught to fear. They were taught to fear if you didn't have control. So that's what I'm saying. The more people, forget your political beliefs, forget your religious beliefs, forget all of it, forget spiritual versus Christian. Just get rid of the low vibrational frequencies. If you can get rid of fear, judgment, and self-pity or victimization, this world will be much better for you and everyone that you touch. So we don't need to get into right or wrong. Like, I'm a recovering right or wrong person. Like, that was huge because that's what I was instilled to believe. I had this big right and wrong little devil on my shoulder. It doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong. There's just love. Love and light. That's all there is. And if we live in that, and if we appreciate that's what we're made of, and we do everything from it, we can never fail. Not in that bad sense of the word.
No.
All we can do is grow and connect, which is why we're here.
I agree. This is why we are on this earth, to grow, to connect, to make it better for the collective by embodying who we are at soul level and really honoring, I think, a big thing for me, which I really like that you are also a big proponent of, is honoring your body, honoring your mind, and that, yes, it has hangups. We don't just try to spiritually bypass and pretend we don't have maybe trauma or these limiting beliefs. We recognize them, we work with them and then around them and through them so that we're able to move to the other side, because that's where our dreams manifest. That's where
absolutely
our purpose is fulfilled.
One more thing I'll share,
yeah,
as you say that, and you said that there's a lot of female listeners with children.
Oh yeah.
If you're listening, your children don't actually do what you say. You know this by now.
What?
You know this by now.
It's a joke. It's a true joke.
They're watching, and they can't help but absorb your energy. So the best thing that you can do as a mother is show them that failure isn't bad. Show them authentic living is safe. It is possible. We have this thing called the Joy Regenerator. It has a little script you can use in any relationship, any interaction. Again, unlocklimitlessyou.com/joy. It's also in the resources section. Here's what we say. So say you upset me. I would say, it's not your fault. What you just said, when you just said what you said, whatever it was, the story I made up in my head, to your point of like, we can't help it, we're human, we're triggered, things will happen. The story I made up in my head was that I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough, or I disappointed you, or whatever it is, depending upon the example, you fill in the blanks, it's all out there. I know this has nothing to do with you and everything to do with how I'm processing based upon my conditioning. Can we talk about this so that I can heal and we can align our intentions and be more deeply connected?
That's a life-changing tool right there. That's a life-changing resource, because so many people, they want to have these deeper conversations with their families of origin because they want to be visible, but they don't know where to start. So if you are having that issue right now where you're scared of maybe how your parents will react to really following your dreams and following your purpose, please use this resource. I've had these conversations with my mom and they have been life-changing, and I highly recommend it. My mom, like I said, she went from being afraid, terrified, to now she's my biggest fan. She is always proud of me, and to the point where, sometimes I get the luxury of getting to roll my eyes about it. But I can still appreciate the love, and also what you were saying to your point about children and how they are picking up the energy that we are modeling for them. It's so true. And even at the youngest ages, my 7-year-old, he recently pulled me into his room and said, "Mommy, I need to have a private conversation with you." And I said, okay, not knowing what was coming next. And he pitched me this new chore chart for him to earn money by doing chores around the house that typically one of us as adults do. And I was so impressed. I was so impressed with my little baby.
That's awesome.
And I just thought, and we negotiated and everything. And I don't think that would have been possible had he not seen me and my husband, who was also a business owner, following this path and asking for what we deserve, asking for the worth of our work. So keep going. Even if you think they're not learning because they're not listening, they are learning. They're just learning it on a more subconscious level and visually and experientially than they are from you telling them something.
Oh yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it. Like my parents raised me with command and control, and get command and control of your kids. And I did that. How old am I? How old are they? Oh gosh, probably for 13 years with my oldest. I have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old.
That makes me want to cry.
And in less than 2 years, because I've changed, not because I've told them, and they still call me my woo-woo voodoo stuff. Don't use your voodoo stuff on me.
Don't use your voodoo stuff. I love it.
And the same time, my 14-year-old, when I'm expressing some things to him about what his teacher said, and he's like, but Mom, you've told me I can't make anybody feel anything. And I'm like, oh, he's right. I said, yes. And not everybody is aware of that yet. So their perception might be that you still can, and you still need to be thoughtful. But their emotional IQ is going, or EQ, whatever you want to call it, it's skyrocketed. Not because I've taught them anything, but because I'm living authentically. Same thing in my relationship with Brad. Like I used to have fight or flight, and I thought, well, I can't speak for what I want. And if I do, it's going to end in a fight or whatever. And I used to be a fighter. And then after that was very unpleasant. Then I was just like, then I just didn't say anything in my subsequent relationship. And now that I speak my truth, and to your point of like, ask for what I want because I believe I'm worthy and I deserve it. In the beginning, I was like, using this joy regenerator that I just gave you, guys, go get it.
Yes.
It's not just giving you things that I think might work. I know it works because I use them. In the beginning, I was like, oh God, it's over. This is going to be it. And every single time, conflict has brought us closer.
Yes.
Because we've created more emotional safety for each other.
And repair is so important. That's not something that we are taught, as I think being conditioned as women. We are not taught the importance of repair in a healthy relationship, that it doesn't always have to be harmonious. But when we learn repair, we learn how to, once again, grow, to be better, to improve, to recognize when our conditioning or our projections are being placed on a situation where they have no relevance, right? So that is so powerful. This has been a fantastic conversation. What would be your final takeaway for those listening today?
I think the last thing I want to share, and by no means is it in any order, but it's a thing that I'm really working on right now. And for those, you said there's a lot of Pisces and a lot of like people pleasers. Protecting your energy. Like not protecting. I hate to use the word protect because then it sounds like you have to have like harnessing your energy in a way that benefits everyone the most, which first it means it has to benefit you. So we can be sponges. Like I said, skin's overrated. The energy just comes in. And we can be overgivers and the energy just goes out. And that's why I said self-health has to be priority number one, and that's not selfish. There are so many different things that work for different people. What I would say is don't wait. Don't wait till the kids are grown. Don't wait till you retire. Don't wait till you make the first whatever million. Don't wait till any milestone. Don't wait. Start now. Every single day, figuring out what self-care and rejuvenation is for you. Fill up your cup and only give from the overflow. Only give from the overflow. Because you're like, oh, well, I can go a little bit empty. This is me. I'm like, oh, I can go. I know where but then before you know it, I'm at the bottom. And I'm like, well, crap, there I go. So then I have to recommit. So don't wait and don't judge yourself. Set your intention to fill your self-love cup full. Give from your overflow. And each day, just see how you feel. And if you messed up yesterday, that's okay. Why? Learn from it. It's not a failure. It's a growth opportunity. So just practice taking care of yourself. And then you will take care of others. And then the business will take care of itself. Like I wasn't going to change. Like I'm not making what I used to make. And I will never go back, ladies and gentlemen. Never. Like I know I'm so aligned. So just see where your alignment is. If you don't feel like you're aligned, don't worry about the financial freedom. Like that's easy for you. No, it's not. I'm a single mom. My ex barely pays anything. I am so grounded that I trust and can surrender. And I know that I will get what I need. And so will you.
Mic drop moment. Okay. Yvonne, how can people reach out to you? I know you've been mentioning a few links that we're going to drop in the show notes. Is there anything else where you would want them to reach out to if they have a question after listening to the episode?
Sure. A couple things. I know everybody's busy. Like I said, don't wait 25 years and don't think that you have to buy a whole book and read a whole book and do the whole thing. We have a self-love quiz. It takes you less than 5 minutes, probably less than 3. Unlock LimitlessYou.com/quiz. It will give you insight. It's only 12 questions. It will give you insight into your way of being with yourself and with others that you might not know about, or you might just think it's normal, but I'm here to tell you normal isn't healthy right now.
Oh, preach.
So take the quiz, find out for you, and then we'll send you some emails after that gives you insight for each of the 12 questions and little free tools that you can use. And at any point in time, do that for you. That's 3 minutes. There's no commitment. You don't even have to think about it. If you want to contact me, if you want to talk live about today's show or the quiz results that you have, same website, unlock LimitlessYou.com/call, or there's a call button on about every little page you can find. You'll set up a call with me and we'll talk about how you can unlock your limitless you.
Oh, thank you so much, Yvonne. It's been a pleasure. And thank you all for listening. Remember to stay true to yourself. Thanks so much for tuning into the Spiritual Business Blueprint. If today's episode resonated with you, I would be so grateful if you take a moment to leave a review on iTunes. It really helps other soul-centered entrepreneurs find this space and join the journey. And if you're ready to dive deeper and create a business that's truly aligned with your energy and purpose, let's work together in soul-centered success. You can find all the details to join me in this transformative coaching experience in the show notes. Also, if you think this episode could help one of your business besties, go ahead and share it with them. We are all about building community here. All right. Until next time, I'll see you then.